Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all of those who have bought the courses online, the teaching online. Thank you very much. And those who are ready to buy, please go ahead and do it. Remember, we have several options on how to buy. You'll have to look into that, and my team will show you how. But what I want to let you know is that for those of you who have bought already what we are offering here, which is my courses online, the demo that I'm going to be doing will be raffled today at the end of the day. My team will do the wheel and get the name of the person who will keep this painting. There's only, the fact is that if we have to ship it, you will only need to pay for the shipping, but it depends on where the winner is from. So anyhow, also the people who buy while I am doing this demo, we will include their name into the list of the possible winners of this painting. Again, this is an image that I'm going to be using. It's here in San Miguel de Allende. I am currently in San Miguel de Allende, and these images, these people, buildings, streets, bougainvilleas, all of these things is something that I really love, and that now has attracted me to be here in San Miguel de Allende. I am enjoying my stay here. I move a lot. I go to the States, I go to Canada, all over Mexico, and I also go to Europe and do a lot of workshops and painting, of course, just for myself. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy and you learn something here. So I'm gonna move my camera a little bit because I want you to see everything. I think that's good. My palette is there. You can see my palette. Also, you can see, yes, everything. So I have my image down here. I have it in another phone, so I have it already. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. There are announcements that I have to do every now and then, but the painting, the whole painting, it's going to take me anywhere from, 40 minutes to an hour. That's my plan. I have my palette here, and my palette, I will be explaining what it's all about. But I'm starting with some type of ink that I create with odorless solvent. I use deep red and Prussian blue. So I work from big to small, like it says in my my little sign here. So anyhow, I work from big to small. So big to small, what does it mean? It means something like this. So this is the space where Andrés and Pancho will be sitting in the painting. So you can see, I'm not at all starting with a small detail. What I'm doing is I'm just going at it and starting suggesting sections that I see in the canvas, in the photograph, and I want to put them on my canvas, and I want to make sure that everything fits before I go and try to do any of the details. No details whatsoever. All I want to do is just suggest what I see. And what I see is right now, it's all just big shapes. And I'm trying to work with those big shapes. So here's, what will be eventually the bench that they're sitting on, their feet down here. So that's basically my geometrical shapes. But these shapes, I can now analyze and make sure that everything is in the right size, right scale. If I have that, then what I can do is I can go and start doing big to small, but now in the space that each one of their bodies is taking, which means that's the torso, this is the legs, and it's kind of both at the same time. So there's Pancho. Andrés is the guy with the yellow bag in between his legs. So Pancho is here. So I'm gonna say, don't think of it as a human being. We have to think of it as if it was an object, any kind of object. Sometimes when we do a painting and it includes, human figure, as soon as we think of human figure, we start blocking ourselves. I don't want to block myself. I just want to think, these are a couple of figures. It could be anything, right? But what I'm trying to do is just say, okay, so this is what I see. I feel that their heads are too close together, so I'm going to separate. This is a great thing to see because this guy is too close to him. Andrés is too close to Pancho. So I'm going to separate them a little bit. So look, I imitate the first lines that I did, and I bring Andrés just a little more to the left. And it's a little bit of a mess right now. Let me see. No, it's not that much of a mess. I think it's fine. Okay, so I'm kind of organizing things here. There's no commitment with my lines yet. All I am doing is just bringing in and putting all the things that I need, but without the commitment. I am not married to any of these lines. All I am doing is selecting the spaces. If I like it, then I'm going to go and emphasize, which I think I might do very fairly soon, because I like what I see. Excuse me. Okay, so it's kind of working. There's always the possibility of not being right, of doing something that is not right, and that would be normal. I wouldn't be ashamed if that happened again, because it has happened many times in the past. Okay, so there we are. So that's the figure of the man. There it is. This is Andrés, and this is Pancho. So what I'm going to do now is, now that I have them where I want them to be, I'm going to start emphasizing more of the lines that I see. Remember, the first lines were nothing but just geometrical shapes. Once I have those shapes, then I can go and emphasize a little bit more, which is kind of what I'm doing now. Okay? So there it goes. Right beside Andrés, there's this piece of cantera. The design of the rock is very efficient. It's attractive, it's beautiful. It's a relief, and I want to make sure it works. Okay. So please remember, those of you who already bought the courses online, you are eligible to win this painting. And I'm going to try to do the very best I can so that if you win this painting, you are proud of what you have. I don't want you to be embarrassed with one of my paintings. So I want to make sure that I do the very best I can. So you can see each moment I am including a little more detail. I am trying to do what's necessary so that we all can see the design, the architecture. San Miguel de Allende is a beautiful colonial city. I have a studio here. I love the inspiration that I get from this place. I paint every day. I paint in the morning. I paint midday, afternoon, all the time. There are many things that are happening. I have exhibitions coming up. I have workshops, live workshops that I need to do in Mexico. We have La Manzanilla del Mar. We have Melaque, Manzanillo, Cuyutlán, Ajijic. And I'm very grateful to the people that are still taking my workshop. Some of them have been with me for quite a long time. Thank you for watching. All of those who are watching, thank you. Of course, I'm kind of used to doing demos, but there are still things that make me a little nervous. I'm just getting used to all this adventure. And more and more, the technicalities of it become easier for me. And that is a good thing, because then I can only concentrate. I can concentrate only in the things that matter to me, which is the creation of the paintings. And of course, explaining how I put them together. Okay, so you can see how now I am going into much more definition than I had at first. Okay, look at the difference. I mean, you can really see now how we are doing this thing, and the idea is, of course, this is alla prima. This is a painting that I'm going to be doing that has all the necessary elements to be a good painting. So we have this image which I captured. I was participating in the International Watercolor Contest here in San Miguel de Allende. There were 3 categories. There was landscape, cityscape, daytime, cityscape, nighttime, and people of San Miguel. So I won nighttime, cityscape. I won first place, which is, of course, it's always an honor. There was great quality with people painting from different parts of the world, from different parts of Mexico. Okay, so I'm just suggesting here what will be the shadow. So the door, it's not forget the door. I left just a little bit of space, but I think it's enough. If not, I can move back. In fact, I'm going to move back at that line. Like I said before, having a line that is not in the right place is not a problem. I mean, for instance, this one. I think that if I bring it back a little bit more, just to give more space to my door, I can do it. And I mean, I don't have to stick to the photograph 100%. There, I just gave myself almost an inch. I moved the building to the right, and now that I have that, I have the space here for my door. So that's the entrance to the church. Okay, there we are. Okay, so we have Shelly, Norma, Rosalia, Jeremy, Isabel, Andrea. If you have any questions, please do me the favor of just telling me what you want to know. Any comments, anything that I can help you with, I'll be more than happy to do. My life is all about painting. I have now finally, after a long time trying, now I am only dedicating myself to painting. Of course, teaching quite a bit, because Andrea, all right. Saludos hasta las fiestas de Ajijic. Y gracias por las fotografías. Okay, so what we have here, I have now my image. It's all drawn in. There's some kind of texture on the floor, on the tile. I think it's actually rock. Yeah, it's rock. So there's a shadow here. There's a couple of cypress trees behind me when I took these pictures. So that's the shadow. That's the shadow. One thing that I also want to know, there's many subjects that I haven't really done for my workshops online. Something I would like to know. I mean, you can text whatever you want. You can text me things that you would want to see me do, and I'll be more than happy to do it. I have, like I said, I'm dedicating much more of my time to this project and to produce my own paintings. So, please tell me what you would like to see. Okay, so now I'm going to follow what I have here, which is my little chart of my process. So I already did the big to small thing. I already did the dry to wet in the edge. You can see, there's practically nothing in my hand. I mean, there is a little bit of dirtiness, but that can tell you that I have done my sketch very dry, almost as if it was acrylic, but it's not acrylic. I used odorless solvent, which I have in this little container, and I used deep Winsor red, and I use Prussian blue to make my ink. So I make it out of here. I don't use charcoal. I don't use pencils. I just go right to the paint. Okay, so now the next thing to do is going to be going from dark to light. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go, I take a little bit, I am changing something here. I want to make sure you understand. This is a solvent. So I'm not going to be using the solvent anymore. So I kind of put it away so I don't get confused. It's just, putting it away. And now I'm going to be using the gel, which is right here. I don't think you can see it, but it's the liquid product that I use, which speeds up the drying process and it allows me to move the paint easier. So let me go ahead and start. I'm going to start painting away. The painting, especially at the beginning, does not even need to look good. In fact, if you were expecting it to look good, it's the wrong approach. It's not going to happen like that. You can't put a stroke of paint on your canvas. It's going to be beautiful. That will come eventually. But at first, what we have to do is we have to go at it and fill in what we have. So here I go. I'm going to go from dark to light. Again, what I do is I go to red, Winsor deep, and I go to Prussian blue. There's my dark. It's actually, it's very much like black, okay? So I got my black. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it wherever I feel necessary. So you can see, that's dark. That's basically black. So I can see in my image that there's these little panels on the door, but it's too soon to worry about the panels. I'm not gonna be worrying about the panels. Now I'm gonna go right to Andrés' pants, okay? You can see that. I don't really worry too much. Of course, I kind of try to stay within the line, but that's basically for you. I don't need to stay within the line because I can always come back and crop with the next layer of color that I'm going to apply. But the thing about it is that at this moment, all I need to do is just go and put my darks. Wherever I see my darks, up here, it's beginning to turn a little bit more reddish. You cannot really see it, but it is more red up here. Okay, so there we go. There's just a hint of red because the pink stone. Okay, so now this is just kind of the same color. This is for the bench where they're sitting outside the church. There we are. Oh, that's the yellow bag. I was almost ready to mess it up and cover it with black. That's the yellow bag. Let's keep it empty. Let's keep it clean. Okay, so now I'm gonna go for Pancho's jacket. So I actually used a little bit of Prussian and then I went to ultramarine too. But I want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm inclining a little more towards Prussian. Okay, I think I have the color. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if it's like. I need to ask, somebody please answer. Can you see well what I am doing here? I need an answer from somebody. Andrea, ¿sí se ve bien?
Sí, sí se ve muy bien.
Ahí estás, eso, así me gusta. Muchas gracias. Okay, so you can see now, I'm aiming at the darks. That's exactly what I want at this moment. Now look at Pancho's, I'm sorry, Andrés' sweater. It's kind of a reddish gray, so I'm going for that. It doesn't have to be. I tell my students when we are doing a live class, I say to them, it doesn't have to be exactly the color that you see, but as long as it's close enough, that's enough to do at first. You don't have to get exactly the color that you need. So I tell them, hopefully the right color, hopefully in the right place. That's basically all I ask for at first. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So I can see, there's like a little ramp here for wheelchairs to go into the church. So there it is. The next thing for me to do is the shadows. So I'm going to go for the shadows. For shadows, I'm going to go for permanent rose and a little bit of ultramarine. And I have to remind you, if you already bought the workshop online, you are eligible to win this painting. I know that right now it doesn't look like much, but I promise you it's going to be good at the end. I hope. Okay, so I got the color I think that I want. Yeah, that's a little too purple, too much purple. So I'm bringing it back a little bit. There it is. Okay, so it's a little bit deeper than I wanted, but like I said, a little bit of as long as it's close to what I see, I'm happy with that. Now, I am still working from dark to light, and I am doing also dry to wet. So what does that mean, dry to wet? What it means is that I am trying to imitate one of the qualities of acrylic painting, which is that it dries fast. Obviously, this is oil, and this is not going to dry fast. But that's why we press the brush against the canvas. I don't know if you can hear my brush against the canvas, but the goal is to fill it in quickly. I'm going to go now for the kind of a pink stone that I see for the cantera, which is soft stone. I love painting cantera. I don't always get the right color, but I try. Okay, so it's kind of getting there. It's still a little too dark. All right, this is good. This is a good color here. Remember, I'm going to make it lighter later. So let's see. Yeah, this is a good color. So what I want you to know, to see is that I know this is actually lighter than I'm doing right now. But that's not important because this is only the first layer. And as long as I know that, so look, all my lines that I drew, they're all disappearing under the cover of my rock. So was it a waste of time to do the lines first and then erase them like this? No, because it helped me to become more familiar with my subject. I got to measure things and I got the feeling of what it needs to be, what it needs to happen. So all of it helps. Here we go. Remember, emptiness on the canvas on the early stage is what we are fighting against. We don't want to have these empty spaces. All of these empty spaces are the enemy now. And the idea is we need to go there and defeat that enemy. And the way we're going to do it is just by filling in the canvas. So here we go. I would like that side a little bit redder. So I just add a little more of the Windsor red. There we go. That's not the deep red, that's just Windsor. So there are, different stages to the painting. The first one is supposed to look bad when I'm confidently with my students live. I use other words. It's okay that it looks not good, and then it goes to the second stage, which is looks amateur, and then I'm not even close to looks amateur. This is where it doesn't look good, where it doesn't look right, and that's acceptable. That's okay. I have to tell you, when I was starting to paint, if I had something like this and I couldn't see the future, I would lose it, and I would be thinking that I made the worst mistakes, and I would end up throwing my paintings away. And I never completed them because I didn't have enough maturity. I hadn't learned to visualize, to understand how my painting would develop. So I ended up just throwing them. There's a gentleman who used to pick up my paintings. He picked up a bunch of paintings from the garbage and later on showed them to me, all framed. He was so proud and he made me so proud because, to have him go and pick up all of those pieces from the garbage and make them part of his decoration. He framed them. It took him 10 years to frame all of those things because there was a bunch of paintings that were failures. Okay, so if nobody else joins, you got 50% chances of winning unless someone else buys the workshops now. That's not bad. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the red, which I see in this section right here. Oh, I love that red. Look at that. It's not because I did it. It's just a beautiful red. Don't ask me what I did. It's just kind of putting it together. I have, I think, 5 different, between orange and permanent rose. I have about 5 different reds that I'm using. I will explain to you what they are in a minute. Okay, so let me continue. Again, all I want to do right now is to fill in. Here we are. Now, the only thing left to do is their faces. So I'm going to go right to it. One of the things that usually happens is that when we, depending upon who we are, racially, actually, Caucasian, Mexican, African American, whatever we are, we have the tendency to do the color for flesh tone according to what we see in the mirror. So it depends who you are. You will be most likely doing either very dark, if you're black, you'll be doing medium, like me, brown. But then also, I've seen people who are white, Caucasian, doing a very pale, I'm sorry, a very pale color. So that it's a cultural thing that we do. Okay. Oh, let me drink something here. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm aiming at the flesh tone for these couple guys, Andrés and Pancho. So there's basically, I missed here. This is supposed to be yellow because that's the bag. So let me go back to that. I think I can just put it on top of the previous color that I did. That's it. Yeah, there we are. That's the yellow for the bag. I also need to do the hands. There's a little bit of a hint of hands right here and right here. And then all I need to do is go to the cowboy hats. So we got all this. Now I'm going towards the shadow of the hats. That's the first part I'm going to do.
Just making a little reminder to everyone. Well, it seems that nobody wants to win, Mr. Efren. It seems that nobody wants to win this painting today, even though these paintings are normally, their value is approximately from $300, and we're just giving away practically for free in the purchase of any one of our packages, as less as $21, and you will be already participating. And so, yeah, it seems that even when giving it away for free, they don't want it. So, any thought on that, Mr. Efren?
I was going to charge more than $300
for that one.
Oh yeah, I mean the way it is, I can just sign it and get the 300.
I mean, that's why I say it's at least $300.
Well, I didn't hear the at least part. Okay, okay, let me continue. So look at what's happening now. This is the last part of the filling in of my canvas. Previous to this, I did the floor, I did the bag, and now I'm doing the hats, which are the cowboy hats, which are the lightest in my painting. Now, I want you to realize that even though they're the lightest, I'm not going to the extreme light yet. Not yet. Why? Because I want to have a margin. If I go right away to the white as it comes out of the tube, then I have no room to improve my painting, and I don't want that to happen. So there's a little bit of that. They have, they have tennis shoes. Usually they would normally have some other type of footwear, but here it happens to be tennis shoes. So I'm gonna incorporate a little bit of this color to make it not so white, especially the ones for Andrés. Okay, so this is the first part. This is the part where it's supposed to look awful. Pardon my English, it's supposed to look like crap. If you can live with that, if you can understand that and accept it and say, yes, it looks like an orderly mess, then you have all the margin to make it better. Everything you have to make it better. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start enhancing what I have here. So what I'm going to be doing, now that I filled in the whole canvas, I can go anywhere I want. I don't need to go into dark light anymore. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and start in the corner of that section. Same thing here. So that's where I decided to start. Okay. That's what I want to show. Now I'm going to enhance also the section under the bench. Look at that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it a little more light, a little more illuminated. The sun goes behind these two frames and it touches the bottom section. There we are. Okay, so that's the beginning of the second part of the process. Now I'm going to go for the design over the soft stone, the cantera. And what I'm going to be doing there is I'm going to make sure that it is understood that there's carving stone designs. So see that? Now I don't need to go and do exactly like a photograph. This is my interpretation. But my interpretation needs to be accurate. Okay? I am not a realist painter. I like looseness. I like spontaneity. It's more human when I do like this, spontaneous, loose, and it's effective to me. I like it much more than trying to stick to reality. I don't want to be like a camera, of course, but I like, instead of that, just being looser and making things happen faster. Okay, so here's a section of that. I'm gonna go there and bring in a little more light. There's a section particularly up here. And the reason why I can put these lines, these strokes of color on top of fresh oil, it's because of what I told you about dry to wet. The bottom section, the bottom coat, I did very, very dry, which I can only accomplish if I'm brushing away the color, if I'm pushing the color and spreading it as much as possible to make it as thin as possible. So that I did previously allows me to do what I am doing now. So here we go with some of the designs that are here. So again, I'm going to do in a very loose manner. There we go. I may include a little bit of a shadow a little bit later, but for now, that's enough for me. All of these details are wonderful to accomplish, to do. And of course, right now they are what are more attractive, what is more attractive of the painting. But as I move on with my painting, the lighter colors that I'm going to be using on other sections will become even more attractive. They will become the focal point. But right now, this is the more progress that I have in my painting. And honestly, is the one thing that shows more. Okay, so there we are, a little bit of the design. I need to move around my painting. I need to make sure there's development everywhere, because if I don't have the development as I need to do, and I only concentrate in a section of my painting, then I'm losing a perspective of my whole piece. So I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I see everything. My painting is a unit. It needs to develop as such. Okay, there we are. So that's the first section. I'm going to go to the door back there, all the way to the back. Remember I said that there are some wooden panels on the door, and I want to make sure that I attempt that now again. So there's like a frame to the door. Once again, I am in San Miguel de Allende. I am at the Fábrica La Aurora. I am working in a friend's gallery. It's a beautiful spot in San Miguel de Allende. I have taught here before, and I have the desire to have a permanent gallery in this place. Hopefully, it will happen soon. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to go now to the floor. I'm going to go even lighter. Remember, the first layer that we did was the darker. We worked from dark to light. I think I have too much yellow there. So, what I am using in colors, I have white, I have lemon yellow, I have cadmium yellow, cad orange, I have Windsor red, deep red, I have permanent rose, ultramarine blue, Prussian blue, and black, which I haven't used. I don't usually use black, but there was a need that I had this morning and I had to put it in my palette, so that's why I have it there. Okay, you can see now how the light is being more emphasized, especially on the floor. There's more light. In fact, if I can make it a little bit lighter, it would be even better.
Efrain, can you tell us again what the price of the painting that you're painting is approximately, please?
Well, now that I'm still alive, it would be about $5 $600, which is still, affordable. But
But as all of you people who are already hearing this Zoom call, we're giving it away on a raffle, on a live raffle, after this masterclass ends. And well, Mr. Efrain has decided to give it away in this raffle, and the only thing that you had to do was to be here on the Zoom call and have already purchased or purchase today any of the packages that you can find in his webpage and cover just the delivery of this. And you will have, well, as Mr. Efren put it, you said $500 painting?
five, six,
$600 painting. Almost for free. Almost for free. Just covering the delivery and it will be yours. So at the moment we have Mr. Jeremy. I don't know if Mr. Jeremy can, well, I imagine that he can hear us clear. If Mr. Jeremy has any questions about what you can learn in the course, or something that you haven't found in the online courses that you would like to ask Mr. Jeremy, please be sure to either turn on your microphone so we can hear you, or just write it down on the chat and I'll be glad to ask Mr. Friend directly and he can answer to you here. And also Miss Isabel, she's also participating in the raffle. If you have any questions about the courses, about anything else that you can learn that is not in the courses, please let us know and we'll be happy to answer it for you. And if anyone, Martin, Andrea, Rosalia, Camille, Norma, anyone has any questions about something outside of the courses, Mr. Efren will be happy to answer it for you. Oh, don't worry, Camille, don't worry.
I don't know the answer, I'll lie.
Camille, you say that you're already registered in the course. Can you please tell me the email that you registered so I can look it up in the system and add you to the raffle if you already purchased a package, please? I'll be. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and confirm this. And we will have perhaps another person who is participating on this. And yes, I am just confirming it. Miss Camille is our third participant for today. So now the chances are getting much more interesting. Now we have a 1 in a third chance for any one of these people to get their hands on this beautiful painting.
Andres, man, you make it sound so great.
It is great. It's a more than $500 painting that you're giving it away for free. I mean, I've already asked you to send us one, but you're always like, I don't have time. I'm already traveling. So yeah, it's great.
That's...
I just wanted to let you know, Fran, that you have lots of regards from Neta, that you met her last year at the Plain Art in Lake Tahoe. So she likes you so very much, and she recommended me to join. And we have some more people from Taos, New Mexico, joining you also following you. So you're getting very famous everywhere, friend. Thank you so much for all you're doing.
Oh, thank you. And yes, Neta.
Yeah.
I've seen her a couple times already in the Plein Air Convention.
Yeah, Annette really appreciates all the support you have given her this past year since the Plain Art in Lake Tahoe in the United States. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, anytime I have somebody who is willing to ask, I mean, I love to share, because there was always somebody in my life who brought influence to me and made my journey easier. So anytime I can. But Neta is a great artist. She didn't really need me that much. But thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. I hope she is well in Israel, I think.
So, by the way, we have another interesting development. It seems we have our fourth participant, Martin Leonard. She's also participating in today's raffle. So congratulations. This is going to be interesting.
Okay, so let's go back to the technicalities here. Okay, we can. So what I'm doing now is I'm incorporating more light into the figures. I'm trying to bring them to be a little more three-dimensional. So by doing, a little more light, obviously I want to use it where it's necessary to be, so that the volume appears in those arms, the hands, and all of that. So there it's beginning to happen. And what I'm going to be doing now is, I'm almost covering my second layer. There's a couple more things I need to do, but I'm getting closer to doing the second coat, which is not necessarily covering the whole canvas. Again, I already did that on the first layer. But what I'm doing now is I am slowly bringing in more light. Okay, so let me go back and work a little bit on the section of the door. I want to see a little more wood-like color, wood sections, because right now it's just two colors and it's not necessarily looking like wood. With this little bit of red and orange put together, it's beginning to look more like it should be. Okay. Then there's the ramp right there. Okay, so let me go and try to emphasize the shoes. And then I'm going to go to the cowboy hats because I want to make an effort.
Efren,
Okay?
Mr. Jeremy is saying that he's still learning. He just got to learn all. He just started with module 2. He's about to start to painting the boat. I think it's the blue boat that you painted like a while ago. So any tips for Mr. Jeremy on that regard?
Well, everything that I need to say, it's practically in every one of the demos, which is, just go from big to small, dark to light. And you need to try to understand, first of all, that if you're only beginning, man, you have all the possibilities of the world. I actually prefer to work with people who, when I do my workshops live, I actually prefer to work with, look at that yellow right there. Oh man, I love that. So I prefer to work with people who are just beginning, because then we don't have to try to erase any previous learning that people have. It's just straightforward, and people are usually more eager to learn. But there's all the possibilities of learning, and I am grateful and thank you for taking the class. I ran out of white, so I gotta get a little more white. So I'm doing videos now where I'm going down to basics. I'm going down to simple things. And, that doesn't mean that if you are already experienced, you'll have to go through the basic videos that I'm doing. We just skip them if you don't need to see them. But I think it's important to have all different levels so that people can really try to understand, according to the level that they're in. Okay, I like that hat. What I'm trying to do is, one of the things that I need to explain at this moment, it's almost, I'm using my brush as if it was a palette knife. See, it's one stroke, and then I leave it alone. Because if I keep moving it, if I keep pushing the color, the only thing I'm going to accomplish is I'm going to be removing the color that it's below, that it's there from before, which will make my color muddy, and I don't want that to happen. So it's usually one stroke and walk away from it, because if you try too much and you're trying to move it and fix it and this and that, all you're going to do is just lose you lose the spontaneity, and you're gonna remove the colors from underneath, and before you know it, you have a mess.
So, friend, how much until you finish this painting? We already 53 minutes on the call.
I'm enjoying it so much. So let's say 20 minutes.
How many? How much?
20 more minutes.
20 more minutes. Okay. So as you can see, Mr. Efren is finishing a painting in less, well, más o menos 1 hour. And this is a technique that Mr. Efren has developed for more than, what would you say, 20 years, 30 years?
Let's say, yeah, a long time.
For more than 30 years, he has developed this technique that you will be able to learn with any of his online courses. I mean, and the advantage of this is that you have access to them for a lifetime, at any time, anywhere, as long as you have internet. You will be able to continue your progress anywhere you left off. So if anyone has, do we get the video? Oh yes, we will send the video of this masterclass, Camille. So no worries about that. We will send an email with that. We always send it. And you will also be able to see it on Mr. Efren's social media, like pieces of the masterclass, and we will also share it publicly. So we will send it to your emails and also share it on the social media of Mr. Efren. And also, if anybody wants assistance on the purchase of any of his packages, I will be more than glad to assist you today, since we have a little bit more than 20 minutes before Mr. Efren finishes. So I see many questions in social media of Mr. Efren that they are worried that if they're beginners, if they don't have any experience on painting. The advantage of a technique is that it can be applied no matter the level that you have. And we will soon be publishing more testimonials of people who have near, if not zero, experience painting, and they have been able to learn Mr. Efren's technique. So do not worry if you haven't painted at all in all of your life and you want to start learning this incredible ability. You will be sure to grow with Mr. Efren and his online lessons. So please send me a message and I'll be happy to assist you with any purchase.
Now that's an effort to sell. Thank you, Andrés. Thank you. Okay, so I'm now going to smaller details. I'm going to flesh tone, and what I am trying to do is I'm trying to go just a little bit lighter without making them Caucasian, because they are Mexican men. And the one thing that I want to make sure happens is, we emphasize the highlight under their hats, but I cannot, and I don't want to try to go and do a lot of detail, because it's not the point, it's not the idea with this type of painting. With this type of painting, what we want to do is capture the essence of the subject. Once we have the essence of the subject, that's about as much as we want. Because this is not a portrait, this is almost impressionist painting of my subject. And okay, I'm very happy with that last stroke. And the idea is to capture the essence, capture the light. I was going to say the heat, but it was actually a kind of a cool day. And because of that, they have their jackets. But I'm trying to capture the warmth of the light. There we go. I'm going for more color here. That's a good color. It's kind of a mauve color, which will bring me a little more light on Andrés. His sweater has a little bit of a design on his chest, but that's too much, and I don't want to do publicity for anybody. I want people to see the painting, not necessarily the sign that he's got. So again, one of the things that I need to tell you is that within 3 to 4 weeks, we will do another demo. I'm going to change completely and drastically the subject. And please go ahead and hopefully share with your friends this information so that more people get to see what I'm doing and join us also. Okay, let me go back to Pancho. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to their faces, especially Andrés, because he is the one who's facing us, and he's got a little more of a suggestion of features. And I want to try and emphasize that just a little bit more. So here we go. There's a little bit a suggestion of eyes. And now what I'm going to try to do is a little bit under his chin to make it a little more three-dimensional. Okay, I just took a chunk of his chin.
A friend, Camille asked, which brush for the details do you use?
A very large brush. This is a number 4. I shouldn't be using this. But I'm doing this because I want to show you what not to do. Tiny baby. Let me do with the right brush. The right brush will be a number 2. This is a rosemary brush. Thank you for asking that, Camille, because now I can go back to the right brush. Oh, I was using that big one just to see who was paying attention. Sorry about that noise. Okay, so you can see a little more of their faces now. I'm gonna go and do a little more of volume. And for that, I go back to the first color that I used, which was red, deep red, and Prussian.
Rosalia, can you please give me the email that you used to enroll so I can find you on the system and put you on the raffle, please? By the way, I would like to ask everyone, if you win the raffle, where would you put this painting? I mean, it's a great question, isn't it?
You know, I was teaching up north, Canada. So I did a raffle, but there I did it with little pieces of paper, and I did 2 lists. One where there were 13 students, and I did 13 times my name. And then I had another one where I did everybody's name except me. So,
by the way, I am confirming Miss Rosalia's participation. Now we have 5 participants in the raffle of today. So things are getting much more interesting. And Mr. Jeremy says that he would put it in his home office if he wins the raffle.
No me dejas terminar mi historia.
I'm sorry, I have to make the comment. I need to keep these things interesting, friend. By the way, Isabel says that she would put it in her kitchen. It deserves to be seen. What do you think about that, Efren?
Yes, I like that. Thank you.
¿Cómo que thank you?
What do you say?
Come on, I mean, you can also say, I think maybe, I don't know, a painting of some fruits would be a good idea. And since she's already in your online courses, you have paintings of fruits And she can also complement that with paintings that she does on your courses. I think that's a way of putting it. Don't you think so, Efren?
Oh, yes. I completely agree with you, Andrés.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Camille says that she would put it up above the cupboard in the kitchen. She would see it while cooking and inspiration to chat and share. I couldn't agree anymore.
Yeah.
Rosalia says she has plenty of places that need a painting. Well, you can start with this one if you win, and you can also paint many of the paintings that are already in the course. By the way, I want to let you know that as part of the Mr. Friends support team, we're also our job is also to edit the videos that you are seeing, and when you see the newest videos that are already programmed, you will see a little bit of a change on the design and also the quality. And I hope that if you have any feedback that you can give us through the Hotmart platform, it will be appreciated very much because that would help us give you a much better finished product. And one of the paintings that I'm really eager to see is that the past month Mr. Friend made a collection of old Mexico. I think you will like this very much. I personally liked it a lot. So for all those that are already enrolled on the courses, I think this will be a really interesting lesson to learn in a few days when these are published. I'll also let everyone know on Mr. Friend's social media when when these are published. You will see it there. Martine says that she would put this painting in her bedroom with all her Mexican paintings. Linda, how do you enter the raffle? You just need to purchase any of the packages. Let me share with you the payment link that I've already published. Let me give you the $21 payment link so that you can start right away and you can have at least 10 video lessons. Okay, I'll share it in the chat. Oh, you're already enrolled in the second package. Okay, can you tell me your email that you used to register so I can check it out in the system and put you in the raffle, please? Mm-hmm. Here you can write it down if, or let me send you a private message so that you don't have to worry about your information. Okay, give me 1 second.
Oh, that shoe. Look at that beautiful shoe.
Linda, is your last name King or Bath? With that, I can see already one email that is already registered. Because I have two Lindas in the system, but I need to be sure which one you are. Ah, okay, there it is. Well, it seems that we have our sixth participant today, Linda King.
All right.
Things are getting much more interesting, Efren.
I know. Hijo de la madre. Okay, just a few more things that I'm going to be doing. I should go to my smaller brush, by the way, because I'm going to be doing tiny little things. I'm not going to do many, but a few. So this is with the intention, the idea of giving a little more volume to the construction decor. I want to make sure that it feels like real relief. But again, I'm not going to go there and kill myself over trying to.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. Linda says hi. She says, little Canadian here.
Hi, Linda. Any questions, anybody, please? Oh, look at Pancho. ¿Andrea está por allí todavía o ya se fue a la fiesta?
Aquí sigo. La fiesta es hasta el rato, acuérdate.
Sí, pero a lo mejor quiere apartar, que quiere ir a poner su rebozo en las...
Ah, hasta en la noche.
Ok. Gracias por las fotos, las disfruto mucho.
Qué bueno, pues habrá más. Mucha fiesta.
Eso. Okay, so I'm getting close to...
Thank you, Rosalia. Friend, let's say goodbye to Rosalia. It seems that where she's at is already nighttime, so she's gonna say goodbye. We will let her know if she wins, but also she will be able to see this in Mr. Afran's social media. So everything is being recorded, so no way that this is not official. So just to let you know.
Good night, wherever you are.
Una Rosalía. Camille says, costumbrismo, estampas, Spanish colonial realism is one of my favorite art expressions. Who we are and how we are. Thank you, friend.
All right. All right. Okay. I'm gonna say that I am done. I hope that you guys understood my process. I hope I was clear enough. And then again, if I wasn't, please bring it up. Don't leave me without any suggestion, any input, anything that you have. I would love to hear. And of course, each time that we do it, it gets better and better. So I welcome again input, suggestions. I hope you like it. And if you didn't, don't tell anyone. Let them find out for themselves. Obviously, the painting is too wet to sign it, but I'm going to pass on to Andrés the responsibility to do the raffle. You can see this is 95% done. I may touch up the painting here and there once it dries a little bit, and depending upon where it goes, once we know who the winner is, of course we have to let it dry, and we need to make sure that it's not gonna smear through the traveling. Okay, so there we are. Let me try something, which is a bit risky, but it works. So what I'm doing is I'm just scraping because I want to show a little bit of the pattern of the floor, and because I don't want to go there and put more paint. Oh man, that really works. That really works. That really works. There we are. There we are. Every time I say there we are, then I see something else that I need to do. Okay, I need to stop. Forget anything that I need to do. I will do final touches, maybe